Hello there. Today we're going to be talking about my plans. Those of you who don't know, I am heavily invested in the stock market and in real estate. Okay, so let me explain to you something, okay? Let me explain, okay? I am invested in the stock market and real estate. I don't know how to draw home. I'm not going to draw home. I'm just, whatever. I've actually invested in physical real estate. And my goal is to retire if I wanted to live in the United States in 19 years. However, right, I don't know how long the economics will last in the United States. So, in order to make my money last longer, I'm going to try to move to a cheaper country that's more affordable, that has more things going on in it. Now, I don't know if I could find that, but if I can, I'd be extremely happy. And so, right now I'm making about, it's not a lot of money, but I'm making about somewhere around $5 to $30 a month in passive income from my 5 different sources of income. I have around, let me see. No, I have about 5 sources of income. I make about $5 a month from my 5 sources of income. And my first source of income is my job. I make about $1,000 to $2,000, little more than $2,000 a month for my job. My job pays me extraordinarily well before taxes, and then I get taxed so much that it's ridiculous. I would probably be making way more money in a lower income state that didn't have taxes. I would probably be making so much more money in Florida right now. Anyway, that's my first source of income, which I hate because I get taxed so much on it. And that one goes straight to my bank account, and it goes invested throughout all the other ones all my other sources of income gets invested. Okay. My second source of income is my real estate. I invest about $30 a week into real estate deals, and every time it gets invested, every 3 months I get more money, basically, and I reinvest that money back. So it goes directly to my bank account, and then I'll invest some of the profits back into real estate and some of it to other investments I'm going to talk about later on. Okay, so that's number 2, my real estate. Number 3 is my real estate loans. Now, if you don't want to invest in equity, because equity is about a 5-year commitment, right? So you can't pull your money out, but you can receive the dividends immediately. After 3 months, you get your dividend payment, which is the 3 months that they collected the rents from all the clients, or all the renters, I should say. And so this one is a monthly real estate thing. However, you do not control the equity. It's all principal. So it's principal loans. Basically, you invest in them, and they pay you about maybe about 0.75% a month. So think $10, think 75 cents actually. 75 cents a month for $10. Let's say you put $10 in every month, and then they pay you about 75 cents every month. And so that one goes directly to my bank account as well. That's 75 cents. Goes directly in my bank account, invested into the other two things. My other 2 things are stockbrokers. I have 3 stock accounts and 2 stockbrokers. I'm not using one stockbroker right now because they don't have the best reputation. However, I have my money heavily invested in them. I'm probably going to end up selling most of my shares in that stockbroker. And I'm probably going to end up doing a more trustworthy stockbroker in the future, because I feel like this one's going to struggle financially. And so I'm not going to name the company right this second. I'm going to wait until another video. I'm going to go in detail about that stockbroker. I would love to do a review on it just because it is an interesting one. And the last one I'm going to do, I absolutely love this. This is something called M1 Finance. Now, the problem with stockbrokers, the first one and the second one I mentioned, is they do not give you your dividend payments directly in your bank account. They just get automatically invested into the stockbroker's account, which is okay because you get your passive income and it goes directly into your stocks again, compounding over time. The real estate, I don't like the idea of auto invest. You can actually set up auto invest for the other 2 things. However, because they're so illiquid, I would rather have the dividend payments immediately in my bank account and then see if I can reinvest it into something else. And so now I'm trying to find a fifth source of income, which I've actually found, that is completely different from the stock market and real estate. I will talk about that more. However, I think it's incredibly risky, and I think only a handful of people should do it. And so that's the thing. I have three passive sources of income, and I have my job. I have four sources of income as a 20-year-old. And I think the more sources of income you can make, even if it's just $1 or $2 a month, to scrape by, I mean, it grows. It does grow over time. It's just, you have to put money in it every single week or every single month. I do weekly. So Tuesday is called investing day for me. Tuesday is my investing day and Thursday is my payday. So I basically see if I can save up enough money for my investment day on Tuesday. And Wednesday is my survival day. I'm like barely out of money. And then Thursday I have more money coming in. And then I'm basically pretty much set for that whole week. And so I invest 45% of my money in those three sources of income: the stock market, the M1 finance, the real estate, and the loan real estate. So those real estate loans are incredibly risky. You can lose all your money in them. However, I'm heavily diversified across different loans with my $10 a week. So if one of the loans goes bad, at least I have other loans protecting my money. You know what I mean? So even though I'm diversified, my $1 I may have invested with those 10 loans, that $1 might be gone, but I have $9 other invested in 9 other loans. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to lose all my money, most likely. Unless that platform goes down, that broker goes down, there's no way I'm going to lose money. That broker, though, doesn't collect any fees from... They're actually a pretty nice broker with the real estate loans. I do recommend real estate loans just because it's a quicker way to make cash. It beats the stock market almost always. It's just incredibly risky because if you invest all your money in one loan, and that loan is, let's say it's a credit rating of D, right? Which is basically the riskiest loan. F is actually the riskiest. But let's say you have a credit rating of D, right? Which is semi-risky because F is the riskiest. Then I would stay away from that. I would try to stay away from anything a C and under. I would try to stay with. Maybe C is okay because C is like a triple B in terms of the bond market. I do invest heavily in bonds, by the way. That's why I know a lot about the bond market. I love bonds. Fixed income bonds, they're 10-year treasury bills. While they're not very good because inflation just keeps beating them over and over again, I just like the idea of making income. It just looks good on paper. And so you're not going to be making a lot of money. You're just not. It's not going to happen over time. But after 19 years, I will be financially free. Based on the math, if the current inflation rate stays the same, I will be financially free, most likely in 19 years. Because your retirement is not about the amount of money you're making from your investments, most likely. It's about the savings rate, what you put into your investments at the beginning. And you have to do the investing part. You can't just save money, right? People seem to forget that. However, I'm afraid that as more and more people show up like me, our investments will become lower and lower over time, but maybe by 1 or 2% less a year. So because there are more people like me, we are going to have to end up with less return. And so my plan is to retire in Mexico or some other cheaper country, so I don't have to deal with the fact that the cost of living can get higher here. Now, again, will the cost of living go higher? It's time will tell because people are already struggling to get by. So there's no way us real estate investors are going to keep raising rents for people who can barely afford it. Eventually, there has to be a relationship to the renter to where it's fair. And so I do think that there might be a real estate bubble. I do think that there might be a stock bubble. I'm afraid, and I'm heavily invested in the United States. Almost all my stocks, except for, well, now I'm invested heavily into international stocks because I'm starting to realize that, yeah, maybe it's not a very good idea to invest in this U.S. stock. So I have actually an entire world bond. I have an entire stock portfolio that invests in every single stock in the world. And so if the United States goes down, well, as long as the U.S. dollar doesn't go down that much, I, myself, because that's the thing, when you're investing in your local currency, if your local currency goes down compared to other local currencies, even if you own stocks in that local currency, you're most likely not going to make as much money. And so I am very worried about the US dollar. However, there is no sign of the US dollar slowing down that much. However, the last 20 years, the US dollar has lost value compared to other currencies. And so that is something that worries me. But there's nothing you could stop it. The decline of the United States was going to happen anyway. It's just you have to bet against it. You sort of have to bet that it will happen probably. And so my investment strategy is to invest in every single country. So if one of them goes up, I at least make some money in US dollars, hopefully, unless the US dollar collapses. But I might diversify and cross other local federal currencies. And people keep talking about cryptocurrency. The only thing I like about cryptocurrency is there's this thing called DeFi banking. This was what I was talking about, my fifth source of income I'm thinking of doing. My fifth source of income. And I'm thinking about doing this. However, it's not federally insured. There's no SEC. There's no regulation on this. And so when you create passive income with DeFi, what you call cryptocurrency DeFi, it looks like US dollars. They're basically fake US dollars. They say USD something, USDC, which is USD coin, basically. It's a cryptocurrency, but it's based off the US dollar. So it's dollar for dollar, the same thing. So they can just print more of it just like a US dollar. And they have cash reserves, so they pay you out once you get your money. And their savings rates are 8% for their banks. However, their banks are not federally insured because it's cryptocurrency. And it's not federally regulated. And there's so much that could go wrong with cryptocurrency in the DeFi space. And there's so many scammers. Like I have met so many scammers online. And it is ridiculous. And I've been trying to catch these guys for weeks. Like, you have no idea. I'm getting mad because it's ridiculous how much they're preying off the investors who want to collect passive income like me. And so there's this huge $50 million Ponzi scheme I discovered recently. Like, I know there's $50 million in this Ponzi scheme, and they took all that money away. $50 million is gone. Poof. Out of existence. DeFi is a scary, scary thing. And so if you're going to invest in DeFi, make sure it's more trustworthy. Make sure they're with the SEC, or at least they're reporting a little bit to the SEC. And so that's the thing about the United States needs to they really need to regulate a lot of the DeFi space, because a lot of people are getting hurt. Like, there are people losing hundreds of thousands of dollars off of DeFi. And I am very, very worried about that space. And I really hope that they don't take away an investment option just because of a bunch of scammers. And I don't think they will. I think DeFi is they're basically loans. It's weird because you're borrowing cryptocurrency to make more cryptocurrency, which is extremely risky. I wouldn't do that. But you have a savings account, which you can use to your advantage from the other crypto maniacs who want to invest with loans. And so you hope that your loans you're borrowing to them, hopefully they pay you back. That's your main, and it's about 8%, so it's a little bit high. It's 4%. No, it's about 7% higher than it's about 8 times higher than a savings account, the highest savings account in the world. And so it's very risky, and it seems too good to be true. And I really hope that it isn't just too good to be true. I hope that they can maintain that return. 8% a year seems a little too high to me, especially for a loan. Unless it's like a risky real estate loan, like I was recommending with the diversified loans with the real estate. With real estate's had a historical return over the last 400 years of 12%, so it's completely fine. But for cryptocurrency, they've only been around for 10 years. So you know what I mean when I say that this new passive income stream, and it gets locked into that broker too. If you make passive income in there, it stays in your broker, just like stocks. It doesn't do it the same for real estate. That's why I love real estate passive investing. You put money in that broker, they give you money back. You could set up your bank transfers directly to your bank. And so you're not worried about any liquid investment losing all its money being reinvested in dividends. You know what I mean? So it seems less risky because you actually get your money back, or you get some money back from your dividends. Anyway, that's besides the point. That is my plan over the next decade, basically, is to build up maybe it's going to be, in the next 2 years, I'm going to be making $10 a month from all those sources of income, except for DeFi, because DeFi is so risky right now. I'm waiting for the crypto scammers to be caught. I'm waiting for regulatory action for DeFi. I'm doing all this stuff. And so hopefully we can help create another source of income for us Americans, or anybody who's willing to invest their money. And hopefully, investing is a risk. When you put money in something and it's not federally regulated, it's a risk. And so you do have to be careful. You can lose all your money in the stock market. You lose all your money in real estate. But if you've diversified across two of them, your chances of losing money goes down dramatically. Hopefully. Anyway, that's my video. Hope to see you again.